As we're headed into Q4 2023, I think it's a good time to pause and give some advice to both buyers and sellers that are looking to transact in this final quarter of the year. But before we do that, make sure you hit subscribe below to stay on top of all of the latest Huntsville, Alabama real estate news. With interest rates hitting a 20-year high, my next recommendation is going to sound a little self-serving, but I am recommending for buyers that can buy to buy right now. And I know what you're thinking, a typical salesperson, now is always a great time to buy. And that's simply really not the case, but I am recommending it right now for a very good set of reasons, which we'll get into here in just a second. But the biggest thing is, I myself am buying right now as an investor, so I truly believe in what I'm about to tell you. One of the reasons why I think now is such a good time to buy and really take advantage of this market is due to something that Realtor.com recently wrote an article on, which was Huntsville is ranked the #1 city in the US in terms of increase of price drops year over year. And so basically last year we didn't have a lot of price drops. This year we have a lot of price drops. Now a lot of it's really stemming from new construction. A couple things happen, there's just so much interest in Huntsville. So a lot of large national builders have taken up shop here and really investing in our area, trying to build up our inventory. But with that and higher interest rates, they've really been caught with too much inventory towards the end of the year. And what do large national publicly traded builders try to do by the end of the year? They try to offload all of this inventory off of their books before the end of the year. So not only is it large national builders, but it's also some small local builders as well that went to a more speculative type build versus a pre-sale. And a lot of the reasons why they were doing this is because home prices, our commodity prices will continue to go up, and they wanted to really make sure that they captured the most profit off of the sale of the home. And so they wanted to price the home after sheetrock, basically, once they knew all their prices on the home. And so that's how we got to the position that we are. Interest rates increased, and so builders are having to pay more and more interest on all of these homes. And so with that, we have a lot of inventory. Builders are slashing prices. They are offering incentives, free refrigerators, free free fences. They're also offering a lot of closing costs. They are also offering buy downs in terms of your rate as well. And so a huge opportunity for buyers to take advantage of new construction, but that's also spilling over to the resale market as well, because these sellers that need to sell during this period are having to make concessions and price drops themselves to entice buyers to buy their home over new construction. So not only is this a great opportunity to take advantage of new construction, this is actually the best opportunity that I've seen in new construction since the Great Recession back in 2008. And I think this is an even better opportunity because I'm seeing even better incentives, or at least incentives along the same lines. But back in 2008, it was like catching a falling knife, because you might be offered incentive, but prices were still coming down, whereas prices are staying steady here in the Huntsville market and really across the US as well. And so that's why I think it's such a great opportunity to take advantage of new construction and even some of the resales. But on top of that, our income on average has risen in the Huntsville area. Our overall income has risen 30% over the last 2 years. With all these high-paying government jobs that are coming to the area, that has increased the overall household income in our area, which is pretty amazing, because the Wall Street Journal just recently reported on average household income declining for the last 3 years when you factor in inflation. So our Huntsville market is doing well in terms of income and buying opportunities in Q4. And so if that's you, and if you're actually fall into that 15% category where we actually have some of the highest percentage of households earning $100,000 or more. So if that's you, I really recommend that you get out of these Federal Reserve notes, because if you really look into it, they're not worth the paper that they're printed on. You need to get into real money and real assets, and one of the best ways to do that is to get into real estate right now. Another factor to consider if you're looking to purchase in Q4 is that commercial real estate across the US is expected to crash very soon, probably over the next 6, maybe 24 plus months. And so as that unfolds, you might say, well, commercial real estate is not going to be affected as much here in Huntsville. Well, but what will be affected is these regional banks. And so regional banks are typically the lenders of choice for commercial real estate, apartment complexes, high-rise office buildings. And you wouldn't think that, local regional banks would be participating in high-rise projects in New York and, other cities. But really the reality is, these regional banks often buy, these debt instruments and participate in lending in other cities. And so that could affect borrowers that are relying on what you call private lending from regional and local banks. And so if you're not getting a conventional FHA, VA type loan, and your situation requires a private loan from a local bank, you could be affected by that, and it really could spill over to the greater economy as well. Lending could really tighten up over the next couple of years. For people that are looking to buy and really maximize their return, whether it be an investment or just getting the most out of the resale of their home, you can look at some stats here locally that show Huntsville and Madison are actually lagging a lot of the areas that are outside of the county, because some of these counties are really booming right now because they have more affordable product, they have more upside in terms of affordability, and they're also just building their infrastructure and enticing a lot of people to buy in these areas because there's still a close drive to Redstone Arsenal, a lot of the employment here in the Huntsville area. So Huntsville and Madison has been lagging some of the other areas such as Decatur and Priceville, Hartsville, Athens, and Hazel Green have all outperformed Madison and Huntsville in terms of price appreciation over the last several years. So switching over to recommendation for sellers, if you're a seller that's looking at your equity that's risen on average 70% over the last 5 years and looking to take advantage of that equity to move on to the next phase of your life, maybe you're wanting to get closer to grandkids or retire in another state, now's a really good opportunity to look at that because again, we have record prices and we still have not enough inventory for buyers out there in the marketplace. And so if you're a seller, now is an opportunity to take advantage of that. So if you're looking to sell and take advantage of all the inflation that we've experienced in this marketplace over the last 5 years, it's very important that you hire a competent agent. Now more than ever, who you hire truly matters, because it used to be you could just stick a sign in the yard and it would sell, but now with increased competition from builders, it's very important to hire an agent that's a master of the numbers and knows what the competition's doing out there. So you may have a home that's in an area that's competing against new construction, or you may not, and it may not be affecting you at all, but you have to have a real estate agent that knows this information and can advise you accordingly. It's also important to have a real estate agent that has high integrity and that can help you meet your goals. You may have a flexible time frame, you may need to sell right away, but based on your particular goals in the marketplace, they need to be able to give you the best advice to get the best terms, whether it be sell your home quickly, the best price, whatever that may be. They need to be able to tell you and not only look out for their own interest, but look out for your interest in terms of the timing of your sale. Should it be this quarter? Should it be the next quarter after some of this inventory is sold? Really, it all depends on your unique situation, which is why you really need to hire somebody that knows the numbers and has your best interest at heart.